that was handed to me. Now they see blessings run through the whole family. Go get it, it's yours to be gotten. Paint the legacy, never to be forgotten. Shine on, they can't block the rays or knock the ways you come through, or stop the waves, you too true. Can't lie or deny, you fly first class, wheels up to the sky.
I'm ready for the struggle, that's the worst part. But I always wore it proud like a birthmark. Days when I was...
So I'm excited to be here with you, MC Lyte, and you, of course, Richard. And I just want to say you have had such an illustrious career. You've broken all types of barriers. I'm just looking at this bio, and you were first in many things. You moved over into acting and directing and producing, and what can't you do? I've seen you like narrate and MC events, and it's just you're doing the damn thing.
You know what I can't do?
What?
Sing.
You can't sing. Well, I mean,
let me tell you, if I could sing,
now.
it'll be another situation. God knows who to give those talents to. I'd be too much.
Well, he did pretty good in your area.
Thank you.
And of course, Richard, long time, amazing career as an actor, and now you. The first in many categories, and now you're directing and producing and, you know, doing all kind of stuff. So I'm excited to be here with you guys.
Thank you.
So the first question is for Lyte. How did this project come about with Bentley and ALLBLK?
Well, first off, thank you all for coming, and thank you for having us. Thank you for having us. And thank you to Anika and your whole team over at ALLBLK for making this a wonderful situation. Bentley, I had this idea that I had been working on with a guy named Wayne Conley many, many years ago.
Okay.
And he's really busy, and it just sat for a really long time. And it needed to be refreshed, it needed to be written, it was just an idea. And so I called up Bentley and said, you know, what you got going? He was in between shooting shows, and so I caught him where he had a couple of days available. He said, let's go out to lunch and talk about it, and we did. And you know, it's really hard to explain, because when God is in it,
Oh,
when
absolutely.
God is in it,
No stopping.
it moved very quickly in the process of us getting together to create it and write it, and then he has a team of people at Harvest Studio, which he is one of the few African American men to own his own studio. So the wonderful thing about that is we didn't have to wait. We rolled with it, and he had a team of writers there, and we got in the room with them and worked it all out. And then, of course, Brett Dismute from General Manager from ALLBLK. Yeah, he came and sat with us for a minute during the early stages, and then a few, I guess, months later, he said, come in and talk with me and Nikki Love, and we went and talked with them, and it was just like, whoa, that's a great idea, we're gonna do it. And we were like, really? It was like, yeah, just sit tight, we'll get you some paperwork. And we were like, okay. And then, not too long, we had some paperwork, and here we are.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Richard, how did you get involved in the show?
Somebody called me and said, Lyte is doing a show, and she's part of the production, executive producer, and she's starring in it. And I've always had great admiration for her. I met her years ago, and I don't even remember when or where. I know her ex-manager, or person that used to work with her, lived in the same building. But I always liked her, and she asked, and it was like, oh yeah, just the chance to work with her. Wow. I didn't know I found out my boy's from Oakland, you know, Oaktown, so that was an added thing. And then one of his best friends is like my son. I grew up with Larry Graham, who everybody who's playing bass with their thumb today is standing on his shoulders, and so, you know, Derek was conceived. You know, I was there.
Well, that sounds kind of weird. When he was
Well, it's weird for minds who want to go there. This is Sunday, so we won't go down that road. You know, you think I'm a heathen anyway, but that's yeah, nothing like that. Well, no, nothing like that.
okay, good.
No, but he's like a son to me. So you know, anyway, it was like this little family that came together, and it was great working with him, and it was great. You know, actually, as she said, you know, Bentley is one of the few studios owned by a black man, and that's more important today than ever before.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
so, yeah.
Okay. So, Lyte, we know that you partnered with All Black on a national casting call to cast Luscious Tea. How did you know that Precious was the one?
What's interesting is we had so many, entries, submissions.
I'm sure.
And we sat for a while, and she came very early on in the process, and we were like, wow, she's great. But you know, where I'm from, you keep looking.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you
Yeah.
want to use the time and
Right.
and just keep looking just in case. And it was all for naught because she was the one
was
in
the
the
one.
very beginning. And she embodies this character, you know, so much to the T
To the T.
that
That's why she's Luscious Tea.
I am very grateful to have her on the show. And Bentley and I,
Yes.
she brings the greatest energy
Sure.
to the character. And from the first time Bentley and I watched the beginning tapes, he said, she's a star.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And it's hard. We did all the casting online.
Wow,
We did not-
really?
We hired everyone before we even saw them physically.
In person. Wow.
Wow.
Because we did it during the pandemic.
That's, you know, it's funny because as I was looking at the show and Rolanda, who's amazing. I've been knowing Rolanda a long time, and it was like, you know, so the acting side of it, she was a journalist, whatever her other life was, newscaster, you know, but she was killing it in this. It was like she was totally believable. But when she said, you know, she's a star, in most shows, whoever's playing that character, you know, you buy into it eventually, and because the character grows into the part, and the second season, you're just like, yeah, I can see that. But she, from the first thing that came out of her mouth, was like, oh yeah, she's definitely a star. Definitely. Very, very talented, majorly talented.
Well, we got to get her to come up here so everybody can see how pretty she is, too. Beautiful.
No. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. And she's polite too.
Okay, this question is for both of you. What are some of your favorite memories from the set? Lyte, I'll start with you. Yes.
Maybe day 3 or 4 when I really had much more of a handle on what was actually happening. Because I feel like in the beginning it was just like, I felt like somebody had my hand, Bentley, saying, this is how we want to do it, let's go.
So you guys were joking and
Yeah, it was
laughing and-
a real family.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was nice. Yours?
How about you?
Well, you know what? It's funny that Lyte said we were joking because my favorite thing is this was the first acting job I ever booked.
Really? Wow.
Nervous. Like, I was so nervous. Like, I was praying for the longest time, like, God, let me just get one line, let me just something. And then I got the show, and I'm like, wait, I'm I'm the lead person. Like, these are all my
Yeah.
lines. And I was like, oh my God, it's MC Lyte. These people are gonna judge me. I'm not gonna know what I'm doing. And then I got there and I realized that the job was just to be like me and this character that I created, and she was just so fun. So that's the mode I was in the whole time. So with Ron and Chloe, we'd be laughing and stuff, and then Lyte would come out of nowhere like, yeah, but do you know your line? So it became so funny. It was like a joke to get her like that. Because by the time they did that, it was time for us to run the scene, and she would be in that kind of mood. Like, are y'all serious while we playing? So it made it so much fun. That was the funnest part of it.
Well, good.
They might have been setting me up.
Yeah.
They might have been sitting there.
Let's talk and see if Lyte comes over and says, do you know your lines?
So what about you, Richard?
Well, I mean, it was, it's an interesting thing going into a new environment, where there's a family and there's a vibe and there's a rhythm and there's a routine and so just falling into that and creating relationships with people instantly, really. You don't have a lot of time
Right.
to fall in love.
Right.
And but what was so cool is that everybody was cool, and so it was easy to fall in love and really to become part of. Because it's part of it is culture, the kind of culture that's created, and Bentley creates a culture there, and all the other people are part of that culture, and the actors are. By the time I came in, I don't know, episode 5 or something like that, 4. They were already a family, so it's like it was very easy to come in and just be a part of the group and to get into the culture of things. And then, I've been in the business so long, I always know probably a good number of the people who are on the show because there's some past history. So it's really beautiful to see this thing grow. And as we can see, it's going to have a life.
We were waiting for you.
You were?
And while we were writing, we were like, we know who we want. We were excited. Once we knew that you had agreed, we were excited during the whole time of shooting, through the days up until you got there.
Yeah.
So we were excited to have
Well,
you.
I looked and said, she could be my daughter. I think it's good casting, but thank you so much. That's such an honor. I'm really, feel blessed that you felt that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, the next one is, what can we expect to form your characters this season?
Oh, trials and tribulations.
Okay.
I think we haven't had the opportunity to talk about what's next season, but we do have a lot that was left over from the first.
Right, that you need to.
Yeah, that we need to work over. I think, I didn't tell you this yet, did we? But I think Lana should go through some type of stress, like high blood pressure kind of situation that she then has to work through. Much of the stress caused by
her.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Well, welcome to the writer's room.
Okay, why should viewers subscribe to ALLBLK to stream Partners in Rhyme?
It's the only platform of its kind.
That's owned by.
Yeah, that's owned by Bob Johnson.
Oh, wow.
So,
Amazing.
For him to have started BET so many years ago, and that was the go-to place for us.
Right.
I remember making that trip when they were just in DC and very small, from New York to DC. Everybody and all artists in New York would just jump on that shuttle flight and go down there and do whatever they needed us to do.
Right.
And we were better for it.
Yes.
The community as a whole, as well as all of the artists that had a platform. And this is one of those platforms. Again, he's researched with a whole new, streaming video on demand. And it's so much content there that's for us, by us.
By us,
Others
that's
are welcome,
right.
But at least we know we have a space where we can play. And so many people have been put to work because of this particular
Absolutely.
platform.
Well, that's a great
It's
reason.
inexpensive.
Yeah, really reasonable. And so the other shows that they show the trailers on, those are all on this streaming service.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Yeah, comedies,
So-
movies, dramas, hour-long sitcoms,
Wow.
documentaries. What else, General Manager Brett?
You're doing a great job.
Well, we have to all commit to support this, guys. Yeah. Okay, does the audience have any questions?
Great. Good night.
Turn up the house
Short and
lights.
sweet.
Yeah, thank you.
The lady at the top? Yes, you
That
with
hat
the
is
white
bad, by
top
the way.
on? Yes, it is. Nice hat. Yes.
Hi. I was curious. I didn't realize. Are you guys using a live audience when you shoot, or are you using laugh tracks? And what made you decide, if you are using laugh tracks, to use them in 2021?
Gotcha. Well, we shot during the pandemic. So there were tests, COVID tests every day. So yes, much of it is either the people in the studio laughing combined with a laugh track, yes.
The lady with the red mask?
Are we going to be seeing a lot more of also the dark side of the market? It's like, is it going to go there? Is it going to, through each of the seasons?
As dark as you're gonna get on a sitcom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also getting as well with internet, all of these new TikTok-y things that are coming up.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll touch upon those things as well. I mean, we're gonna be as real as we possibly can. And then also, I have a tendency to be very serious. Sometimes. But what we want to do is really base this sitcom on actual, the actual aspects of the music business and of life, and hook jokes all over, wherever we can, so that we're actually bringing light to, no pun intended, to someone's life, because there's a whole lot of other dark shows that exist out there, and life in general. So we want to be able to bring some sunshine. Bentley, did you want to say something to that? Okay.
Where can we get the soundtrack?
Oh, Spotify. Yeah, it's streaming on Spotify and all streaming platforms, as a matter of fact. Thank you for asking.
You know you got to say something, right? No, you know you got to talk. No, you one of the few, so you got to say something.
Wow. Well, I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, this is amazing, just being here in you all space, and thank you for allowing us to do that. And it's great. I mean, it's wonderful getting a chance to see the show with an audience and see what your reactions are. So I'm in awe by that. What else do you want me to say? I mean, what can I say?
So I have a question.
Sure.
So you have a studio, and you're one of the few black people who have their own studio.
Yes.
What is your mission?
So, I think it was built out of necessity. We, when I put that together, I had been working in the industry for so many years, and I created a show called The Jamie Foxx Show. I was executive producer of Martin, and I found myself in a position of, when the reality shows came in, I wasn't being hired, and I couldn't believe that. I was like, why am I not getting the calls for these shows? And so I took the approach of the build it and they will come approach.
Yes.
And creating my own content and saying that there's a space for it. Now is the time where we can distribute our own work if we're, savvy enough to figure it out. And so I started looking at spaces to rent, and they were very expensive. I tried to go on Warner Brothers lot and rent those sound stages, and I realized it's a business and I can't afford to be in that business, so I have to figure out what to do on my own. And so I just went in the market and started looking for warehouses that could be converted into sound stages. I mean, if I'm going to do it, I might as well go all the way.
Right.
And I did it fearlessly at the time because I figured if there's any form of fear, then it's not going to happen if I know what that road is going to be about. So I just jumped in with both feet and just hope for the best. And it's been working out 11 years now.
Nice.
And over 500 episodes of television produced in the building.
Wait. Say that again because people were clapping.
Oh, yeah. Over 500 episodes of television has been produced in the building so far. And thank God.
That's an important message.
Yes.
One of my students is Alexander. How old are you, Alexander?
14.
He's 14, and he's a young entrepreneur, director, filmmaker. He has a film coming out, and it's important for people like him to understand that all things are possible.
Yes,
so-
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Get someone from the front, the lady with the blue hat.
Hi there. Mr. Barkley, I've been watching a lot of things you've been doing, and it's been getting better with time. And this seems to be the best so far from what I've seen. It's really a wonderful show. But one of the things I did notice, MC Lyte, you did get to rap a little bit in one of the episodes. Are we going to see more of that? Because, you know, you are fantastic. You are a star. You know, you're the perfect person for that lead role there. But MC Lyte, you know, we'd like to see you too. Are you going to be rapping today?
Look at Bentley.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
The young man with the white shirt and the jacket.
Oh, you said I'm wearing a hat?
Yeah, I was going to say you're from.
Well, I just wanted to say it was a pleasure watching that. It was a beautiful piece. You know, the production quality and, you know, the dialogue, you know, the one hitters, it was just hitting. Everything was on point. You know, I was real honored to be here to witness it. Now, when it comes to finding talent, like you did with her, say an example like where she or Precious, she had little to no experience. Besides talent and looks and all those little things, what is it exactly that table that you guys are looking for when you guys are casting and picking people? And these, like, what comes down to the nitty-gritty details of the decisions you make when looking for talent, you know, outside of it?
You know, that's an interesting question because there were times when, you know, Bentley and I agreed right off the top. And then we may have had a time or two where we were thinking two different ways. And I always acquiesced because he knows comedy, you know, and he knows broad comedy. You know, he knows the sectors of comedy. And so I had to get past what it was that I thought just so that we could have what we actually needed. And I would imagine, just like any other show, whatever the character calls for, that you own it. There were some guys that came in and read for Mackay for the role that Ron G wound up getting, but he owned it. And now, mind you, it's all on tape. And a lot of actors rely on being in the room because they know they're charming and they're going to do something in between the actual scene that's going to gain the attention of the casting person. But because they didn't have room for that, soon as it came on, he was moving around in his space. And I was just like, this guy is a fool. So it's just owning it, you know. And sometimes, just so you know, casting people have no concept of what that person should look like, or how tall, or short, or big, or small. They don't have any idea. So it's best that you come in like knowing that you're that person, and in that little short time, you convince them that the role is actually yours.
You know, the reality is about this business and about being an actor in this business. It's your job to lose. So for you to go in and to put your stamp on it and to be completely authentic and 100% committed to whatever your choice is the first thing that's important. The other thing is what she said is that, you know, they saw everybody on tape. So it's a different world that we live in, and that thing is not going to change. And so everybody has to improve their skill set about being able to do self-tapes, and so that your best foot is forward. Some people are good in the room, but they don't really know how to be alive on tape. So that's a training that you have to, that you need, that you have to get. That's a skill that you have to develop because that's the way most people are casting today. This being live is going to go in and out because we haven't managed, the COVID thing yet. So get your skill set together and do know that it's your job to lose.
And this is the best acting coach I'm going to do it. I'm going to do a shameless plug right now. So, yeah.
She's my wife. She gets paid to say that.
Well, this was wonderful. Thank you, everyone, for coming out. And I just ask that everybody here commit to telling at least 5 people. We're going to do it like they do it in church. So, let's try that.
I love it.
The torch that was handed to me. Now they see blessings run through the whole family. Go get it. It's yours to be gotten. Paint the legacy, never to be forgotten. Shine on, they can't block the rays or knock.